All right, so this is going to be the longest lesson we have this week. We're going to cover pages 261 to 267. And on this page, we're going to deal with some confusing words. I know that some of these we did go over in class, but not all of them, because we didn't get to finish that book. So this will be good to go over some of these confusing ones. These two right here kind of have the same idea. So when do we use the word amount and when do we use the word number, or when do we use less and when do we use fewer? In a situation where you don't really count it, you would use less or amount. Where you can count it, you will use number or fewer. For instance, what amount of sugar? We don't sit and count the granules of sugar. We just measure out a certain amount of sugar. But the new students, what is the number of new students in your class? This one you do count. So we use the word number. And I think of number being the word number, and numbers are what we use to count things. All right. Let's go down at the bottom of Think A, and let's find the ones for amount and number. First we have number 3. Do you know the blank of students that made the honor roll? So we can count the students, so we would use number. And let's see, I think there's another one right here, number 8. The desert traveler carefully calculated the blank of water. Now you're not going to count water droplets, but you could measure it. So we'll use the word amount, and you could hear it. One sounds right and the other one doesn't. For less and fewer, we use the same principle right here. Most rainfall is much blank than an inch. Something we would measure, not count. Most rainfall is much less, as we would measure it. All right, I think there's another one. Here we go. Low-fat milk has blank calories than whole milk. You can actually count calories, so we would use the word fewer. All right. For between and among, between is when you're comparing between two things. So think of between as between two things, all right? Whereas among is an X among all the circles, all right? So more than 2. All right, so let's see. Number 4. Jesus was crucified blank 2 thieves. He's between 2 of them. So we'd use the word between. And once again, you can usually hear the right one. And number 9, Jesus divided the food blank his disciples. Well, there's more than 2. So it would be among. Can and may, you've heard this one often. Can is, can you actually do it, physically do it? May is asking permission. All right, so number 1, blank, I read that book after you are done with it. Can or may, you're asking if you have permission to read it. Can you borrow it? I blank do all things through Christ. You can do them. And blank, your baby sister talk yet? Okay, are we giving her permission to talk? No, we're asking if she can physically do that. So we use can. All right, let's go to the next page. All right, on this page, I'm going to let you do some stuff on your own. We're going to skip this part just to make it easy. All right, let me do a few of these with you. So if the italicized word is used incorrectly, you're going to draw a neat line. I like how they use the word neat line through the word and put the correct word in the left on the blank. If the italicized word is correct, write correct on the line, okay? So let's do a few of these. Let me turn to this page in my book. All right, the contest ended in a tie between Amy and Emily, just two of them, and it's between them. So, correct. We can just put a C. Less students tried out for the play this year than last year. Oh, my, sorry. Less is used for something you measure. Fewer is for something you count. And we could count the students. So that one's a little more difficult because that does not sound bad, does it? But we need the word fewer. Robin Hood can shoot an arrow straighter than anyone else in England. Yes, he is able to, so that is correct. One more. What number of arrows hit the bullseye? So can you count the arrows? Yes, so that would be correct. All right, so you can do these on your own. Let's go ahead and do these together at the bottom. We're going to make these words plural. And you probably know how to do this, but I thought, well, we'll just do it together. Make sure you have it. So leaf is singular. Leaves is plural. Foot and feet. Life and lives. Bush and bushes. Soprano. Now, things that end in an O a lot of times have the ES, but terms in musical terms, you just add an S, and soprano is a musical term. So you just add an S. Journey, a Y with a vowel before it, you just add the S. Decoy, there's a Y with a vowel before it, so we'll just add the S. Lady, so there's a Y with a consonant before it. So we drop the Y and add IES. Boss is bosses, add ES. Cries is a Y with a consonant before it, so drop the Y and add IES. All right, next page. We're cruising right along. All right, so now we're going to talk about a thesaurus. We've talked about a thesaurus a little bit in class, but not quite enough. In a thesaurus, you will see words, and actually, if you look at the next page, this is a page right out of a thesaurus. Couple things to notice. Thesauruses have guide words, just like dictionaries. So the words on this page will be between the words silver and slow. This is the first word on the page, silver. Slow is the last word on the page. See, there's slow and there's silver. Okay? Then all these words in dark print are called the entry words. And within these entry words, like for instance, we're going to be looking at the word sloppy in a minute. Here's the word sloppy. We find out here that it's an adjective. There's different uses for the word sloppy. The first use here, this number 1, is like if we're talking about sloppy because it's wet from the rain, which we're getting lots of rain. So outside is slushy, splashy, wet, watery, splattered, splash, pulpy, sludgy, and squashy. Or sloppy can be sloppy in appearance, like the condition of the bedroom in the previous page. Messy, slovenly, careless, frowsy. I love that word, frowsy. Dowdy, tacky, smeary, dirty, and untidy. And then it can be sloppy in quality, like you just didn't do your best work, okay, so the quality isn't great. Slipshod, third rate, careless, poor, hit or miss, subpar, remiss, or substandard. Then these were all called synonyms. They mean almost the same as sloppy. Then next we get the antonyms of each of those, and the antonyms will be the exact opposite of it. I think that's all I'll point out now. There'll be other things they'll point out. Let's go back to this page. So here we have a picture of a messy little home here. This room and its occupant are certainly sloppy. Can you think of another word that means the same as sloppy that would describe the scene? And we already looked at some words, which I've come to the conclusion I now love the word frowsy. Just a cool word, isn't it? If not, use your thesaurus, which we did. So a thesaurus is a special kind of dictionary that helps you find interesting words to use in your writing. Unlike a dictionary, a thesaurus does not give definitions. Instead, it lists the synonyms and the antonyms for the word. So remember, a synonym are words that mean almost the same, whereas antonyms mean the exact opposite. Just a little information down here to know. The best known thesaurus was written by Peter Mark Roget, a British physician, in 1852. Roget's Thesaurus of English Words and Phrases in various revised versions has been helping writers to find synonyms and antonyms for about 160 years. All right, now let's go to the next page. So we're going to refer to this as we do the next page. Something I want you to, there's things up here they're going to tell us about. So I already talked about the guide words at the top. I already talked about the parts of speech. It'll tell you what part of speech. It will also talk about slang words. So let's go back. Oops. I think there was a word in here. I think they're going to show us a slang word. I think slang words are, say the word slang next to them. Like here's slob. Sloven is slang. And the importance of slang, of knowing what slang is. Slang is fine for everyday talking, but it's not good for formal reading. Now, if you're writing a story, say you're writing a story and you have somebody talking, they can use slang. That would be okay. But like when you're writing your report for your Planix, like we did in class, you would not want to use slang for that. So if you see slang in a thesaurus, you don't want to use that for like a research paper or a book report or something like that. All right, let me go back to this other page. I know I'm flopping back and forth here. There's something, did they show this on the next page? Let me go to the next page. No, but there's somewhere they talk about, let's go back to this page just for a second. If you look at right here, sloping, right after it, sloping has a word slanting, which is a synonym for it, but that's all it gives, and the word slanting is all in capital letters. Do you notice that? That means that the word slanting is the main word in the thesaurus. So they want you to look up the word slanting if you want more synonyms and antonyms for even sloping, okay? So they're not repeating things over and over again. So if you see those big capital letters, like for here, slosh, a more popular word would be splash, and notice it's all in capitals, so you want to look it up there, or even slush. So that's what the capital letters mean. Oh, let's see. All right, let me go to the next page. So we're going to fill these in based on what we see on the page before. So which synonyms for slough is slang? So go back. I don't know how many I'm going to do with these because I have to keep flipping back and forth. So you look at slough, it's right here. See it? All right. And so we have two different sloughs. One is a swamp, marsh, bog, fen, mire, bottom, backwater, moor. The other one is a natural development, shed, molt, cast off. So there's two different definitions for it. What did they want? Now I'm after all that, I'm forgetting what they want. I should use my book. Which synonym for slough is slang? Okay, so let's see if we can find slang. I don't see any in the first one. There it is, slang. See the word slang? All right, what's the word is slang? Kick. See that? All right, so let's go over here. And that is one across, and we're going to do kick. All right, I think I'm going to open my book to the rest of these, so maybe that'll help me. So I don't have to flip back and forth, but you have your papers right there in front of you. All right, so for 3 across, under what word would you find the synonym for slog? Under what word would you, okay, so go to slog. Problem is, I need to turn lights on in my dining room. Can't see. There we go. You can't tell, but my dining room is too dark. So, let's look at the word slog. All right, so you should find slog. It's about 4 down. And when you see slog, you see a word right next to it, all in capitals. So that means we would look at that word. And that word was plod. Do you see that? P-L-O-D. What is the third antonym for sloth? Okay, so find sloth. It's the first column, almost to the bottom, second from the bottom. And they want to know what the third antonym is. So you want to go down to A-N-T within sloth. You see that? And then go 3 words over. I see eagerness. Is that what you see? All right, let's write it. All right, number 7. What is the first synonym for slot? That means the same as place. So let's find slot, just a few up from sloth. All right, and they want to know the first synonym for slot that means the same as place. So do you see number 2? You see position and place. So what's the first synonym for that? Position. So I'm guessing that would fit right here. All right, you guys hear my cat? All right, 2 down. What is the third synonym for slogan? All right, so go to the word slogan. First column towards the top. And we want to find the third synonym for it. So I see catchword, motto, and then, ooh, man, look at that word. Shibboleth. 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 Can't hardly see it. All right, let's see if it fits. S-H-I-B, 2 B's, and then an O, and then L-E-T-H. Crazy word, huh? What part of speech is the word slobber? 2 up from that last one, slobber, first column there. We have drived. Oh, we don't need the synonyms. We want to know the part of speech. I see a V there. And V stands for what? Verb. What is the second guide word for this page? Well, this is the silver is a... All right. Sorry about that. I had an interruption. Oh, what is the second guide word for this page? So the first one was silver. The second one is slow. 8 down. What is the first synonym for slouch used as a noun? So go back to slouch. There it is, top of the second column. The first slouch is used as a verb, right? But then if you go about 3 lines down, you'll see the N, a dash and an N. Do you see that in slouch? They want to know the first synonym for slouch as a noun, and I see the word stoop. Do you see that? There we go. All right, let's turn the page. We're getting close. All right, reviewing synonyms, antonyms, and homonyms. Okay, so up top here, we'll do synonyms and antonyms. Remember, synonyms, they mean almost the same, whereas antonyms mean opposite. And that's what we're going to do in Think A, okay? We're going to skip Think B here. All right, innocent and guilty. Well, they are opposites, so we'll put an A there. Follower and disciple. I think they mean almost the same, don't you? So we'll put an S. Permanent, temporary. Oh, that's opposite. Insult or a compliment. Definitely opposites. House and home, synonyms. Pass or fail, definitely opposites. Rapid, fast, synonyms. Bite or nip, synonyms. Think C are homonyms. Words that are sound the same but are spelled differently and mean different things. So I have the Sunday here, AE, which is the ice cream. And then we have the day of the week, Sunday. Read, which is a plant, and then read a book. Road, this is like road in a car. This is the road, and road, like in a boat. All right, way and way. It's, well, we'll just do the one without the apostrophe. Lane, this means like to lay down, right? This is the street, lane. Here and here. So and so. Wear, this is like wares, things you own. And then you wear clothes. No and no. Wood and wood. Hair, this is the rabbit, and hair on your head. Dye, like dye clothing, and dye, croak. There, and there, the possessive. Bear, if the bear lost all its hair, it would be bare. Your, this means you are, and then this would be the possessive. Male and male. Stationary, okay, this means to be still, not moving. But there's another stationary with an ERY that means paper that you write a letter on. Tale and a story, tale. Blue and the color. 8 and the number. Or, the oars you need to row. OAR. Days, that means like not thinking clearly, and days of the week. And dough, this is the deer, and dough that you make cinnamon rolls with. Yum. All right, you can skip that, and let's go to the next page. All right. So draw a line from the dictionary terms or symbols on the left to the definitions on the right. All right. Let's just go through these. So I'm going to start with these over here. So we have guide words, entry words, a noun, and we have this little slash, pronunciation, definition, in alphabetic order. Now let's look at the meanings. The meaning of a word would be the definition. The way words are listed in a dictionary, alphabetically. The abbreviation for noun, N. Words at the top of the page, guide words. A way a word should be said, that's its pronunciation. An accent or a stress mark is this little tick right here. The words that are explained or defined in a dictionary are called entry words. All right. All right. So this paragraph, the person writing this paragraph uses a few words over and over again. He uses the word pretty, very, nice, and walk over and over again. And we're going to see if we can come up with some more creative words for him, okay? All right, one vacation, my family traveled to Maryland to my grandparents' home in the country. The trip was very nice. Oh, yeah, there it is. Let's get rid of that nice. How about the trip was, we're going to get rid of very too. The trip was, how about exciting? We viewed many pretty sights. Let's get rid of the word pretty. We viewed many interesting sights. When we arrived at the farm, Grandma and Grandpa told us that if we were very quiet that afternoon, we would see a nice surprise. Do we have to have anything there? We would see a surprise. How about a special surprise? Each day in the afternoon, animals would walk out of the forest. How about trot out of the forest to eat the corn my grandfather put out for them. I walked from one window to another most of the afternoon. How about I scurried? Because you're trying not to miss anything. First, I noticed several very pretty birds. How about several beautiful birds? Pecking at the ground underneath the bird feeders. Grandma told me their names: Downy Woodpecker, Tuft Titmouse, and my favorite, the Cardinal. Then about 3:30, we watched a herd of pretty deer. Herd of deer, can we just say deer? Walk out of the woods. Scamper. I counted 11 of them. What a nice surprise. Perfect surprise. So anyway, point being, there's, the word very, nice, pretty, and walk is okay a little bit in a story, but if you use it over and over again, it gets really boring. So if you see yourself using some very common words, you might start pulling out a thesaurus, and maybe we'll work on this more next year. Pull out a thesaurus and get some better words. Okay, so all you have left is that small section. If I go back in my book, that small section on page 262, and finish that up, and we'll be done for the day. And I know it's a long lesson, but we got a lot of pages done.